All right. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's so nice to have you, to introduce you to all of our Putnam Plastics employees, to let them know about this service that is very underutilized, and they have all these free things that they could be missing out on. So you're here today to let us know about these programs, and to make it easier on everyone, we've kept the name simple, Sarah and Sarah. So Sarah as your Putnam Plastics Wellness Coordinator, and Sarah here from United Services, our Employee Assistance Program. So Sarah, I'll turn it on over to you to let people know about your background, how you can help, and what exactly our Employee Assistance Program offers. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. What your Employee Assistance Program can offer? Great question. So as you had mentioned earlier, United Services is your contracted agency for that. So if you're looking for access to the Employee Assistance Program, you can just call 774-2020 and you'll be connected with staff at United Services, and they will take some basic information from you, and then they will set you up with an appointment if that's what you're looking for, and they will do some services with you. Now, let's talk a little bit about like EAP in general. So EAP is a employee sponsored benefit, meaning that Putnam Plastics does a contract with us, and so they pay for services in advance. So it's basically like free services for employees. And Putnam Plastics does this because they really benefit wellness of their employees, and they want to help support their employees. So it's a great benefit. As you mentioned, it sometimes can be underutilized, but one of the things I wanted to talk about today was like, how do I know if EAP is right for me? If you're having a situation at home that is kind of impacting your work life, if you're having changes at home, changes in your relationship, changes in your family dynamics, stress over finances, money, perhaps you have some substance use or overuse of substances that seems to be impacting your ability to get your work done, or just impacting you in general. Things like that could be a great way that EAP can help support you, whether you're looking for ongoing services or you're looking for just general, supports ongoing. The other thing is right now, everybody is really stretched thin. The workforce is very limited right now. And so a lot of people are doing many, many parts of their jobs, and it can cause a lot of stress. So oftentimes people will feel more irritated. They may be getting into conflicts with coworkers, or they may be like, upset with their manager or their boss, and this may not be a normal occurrence. And so when we have red flags like that, those are times when we want to look to see, hey, what's going on here, and what can I do for supports for myself? So if you're starting to have any of those type of things, or even like conflict with coworkers that you normally would get along with, or changes in your work responsibility that just kind of impact your workflow, those are also reasons to come into EAP and get some supports. EAP is confidential. If you call for services and you're not mandated, we'll talk about that in a minute. EAP is confidential, meaning that your employer does not know when you access the services. You simply call, and like I mentioned earlier, you talk to someone very briefly, and then you can get an appointment. We can do appointments by telehealth, meaning by telephone or in person. So if you're calling on your lunch break or after work hours or whenever is convenient for you, that is okay with us. You do not need to be in person. That is one thing that has changed because of the pandemic. So it makes it a little bit easier for people to have access. So your employer just gets told how many people utilize the service. They don't get told who specifically utilizes the services. Now that said, if your employer is concerned about your work performance, or you've had maybe a disciplinary action, or you're having some trouble at work, and your supervisor or manager or someone like that talks to you and says, hey, I think you need to utilize EAP services, they do have the benefit to do what's called a mandated referral. That is a referral that your employer will say, okay, you need to come in for services. When that happens, we do report 3 things to your employer. We report what date you came in, if you've completed services, and if you were engaged in services. Those are the only things your employer knows. They know nothing else about any details, unless you want them to know certain things. And in that case, you do have to sign a special form called a release of information. So those are kind of when do I utilize EAP. EAP also is a support service that can be available to your family, to people in your household. So we know during the pandemic, maybe grandparents have moved in, or cousins or aunts and uncles. Whoever is living in your home and whoever is covered under your insurance can also come in and utilize EAP supports. So it may not be just you directly as someone who works for Putnam Plastics, but it may be a family member or someone else who lives in your household. We do also provide EAP for children. So that's important to know too. It's not just adults. So if you have family members, like I mentioned, they are welcome to use the services as well. So you do, in the end, you do not need to get services exclusively from United Services. For example, say you want to have a private therapist after you see me or my counterpart in EAP. We can do a community referral to someone else in the community that can best meet your needs. So please be mindful of that. And if you are thinking about getting mental health services or any other type of support services ongoing, after EAP is completed, we would be looking into utilizing your insurance or helping you find the best options in the community that can work with your financial situation. So that's also important to know.
Great. All right. Oh, sorry if I just lost you for a minute. Oh boy. All right. So
here we go.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today and giving that information. I just want to let employees know I disappeared for a minute. There was a call coming in, but here's some information that we have on flyers for you throughout the buildings, and we have Sarah's contact information. Sarah, can you give that number one more time?
Absolutely. So we are located at the United Services in Dayville, and the best number to reach us at is 860-774-2020.
All right, very good. Thank you, Sarah, so much for coming on. There's so much. Remember, it's free, it's confidential, it's just waiting for you. And I know pretty much everybody out there could use some support right now. So you have it here at Putnam Plastics. You have it here through our Employee Assistance Program. So be sure that you take the time, even if it's just a few minutes during your break or lunch, to reach out to Sarah or some of her counterparts here, and we'll get you the support you need. So thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the time.